Welcome back to the WildCard show. My name is Venant.
I'm Brian.
I'm Black Mamba.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys.
Yes, sir.
But international break is good for us. And also it's good for some clubs because they're in so many competitions.
It's a big team.
Yeah, and also we're out to see our players in representing their countries.
Yes,
Nanini,
yes,
there's some certain teams which have new managers, so we're to see the best of them. Also, some managers are shifting clubs, wengine wakiletwa. And we also have 10 games now till season iishe. Also, FPL is good. We're only 10 game weeks away from now. Our first winner of this show to win 50,000 Kenya shillings, as well as this cup over here. And before we talk about everything, I'd just like to know how you guys have been and weekend yenu imekuaje. What was the highlight of your weekend? Anything the fans need to know?
You've talked about international football. I went international over the weekend. I don't know, international came to me in terms of counties, because we have like 47 counties in Kenya.
Yeah,
and
so
I ate from one of the most respected, most talked about counties in Kenya, that is Kisumu. I went to 3D restaurant in Kilimani, which belongs to my friend's grandmother. And when I got there, I was like, I'm here to eat fish, because I haven't eaten fish in a long time.
In ages.
So the lady was like, bring him the smallest fish. Niko like, bro, unajua mimi mluya bana. Mimi mluya nimezoea kudimbua. Bro, I kid you not. The smallest fish was like, the length of this chair. So I was like, if this is the smallest fish, how is the big one? And she was like, she doesn't buy fish from Nairobi. She goes straight to Kisumu and gets people to get her good fish. Then brings it to Nairobi. And I was like, damn. So, if you guys are ever in need of fish, bana, mjua kukula fish pia. Nimerealize watu wengi hawajui kukula fish. Please visit 3D restaurant in Kilimani. Yeah. That was the highlight of my weekend, man.
Awesome.
Okay.
What about you?
For me, first of all, today I'm going to be soft to Brian. Brian, so don't play a 3D. Anyway.
Yeah, no, umesikia tu fish tu kaingia box.
Just say Man United will win all trophies. And
Anyway, my weekend was good.
Yeah.
My weekend was good because, first of all, footballing-ish.
Yeah.
There's a neighbor of ours who was ranting, man. Fam, that rant was really good. The North London neighbors. I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
So your highlight was Spurs doing what Spurs always do.
Spursiness.
Of course.
Yangu, it has been a roller coaster of emotions. We start with Arsenal being out of Europa. That was sad for me. I genuinely wanted us to go through. And considering how we played versus Sporting, we showed signs of prospering. However, watu United and watu Chelsea, they didn't fail kunikumbusha. Some are even saying, like, if you could save goals as ringtones, then the one that we considered against Sporting was just the best ringtone that one could have on his phone.
Yes.
I don't know, do you agree?
100%.
So, that was that. And then there was UFC. This weekend, shout out to Leon Edwards, aliwin again.
Bad man.
And we played basketball with Nothing But Net, the whole team. And it was fun.
Kina
just
Andy,
hooping. It was just fun hooping. But my best highlight of the weekend was one, F1. And two, the games that were played on Sunday.
Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
You said F1?
Yeah.
Which team do you support in F1?
He supports
I'm a Sergio Perez fan. I've said
now
that
I
before.
get it. Now I
This
get
guy,
it. Now I get
let me
it.
tell you,
Yeah, now
these
I
ones
get
are the
it.
haters, man.
Now I get it.
Why are we haters?
But let me tell you, I also enjoyed that race because I enjoy Sergio Perez being in his villain nature. You get? You know, I remember at one point he was told to be slow a little bit. And he was like, what have you told Max?
Yeah.
And then Max was told something different. And then he was like, why are you telling Max something different? You're telling me something different. No.
Yeah.
You get? So I think right now he's seeing that the team, like, there are some things that are not making sense. And also in the press conference, because I remember he was told to go slow and he went slower. And then Max Verstappen went faster and he snagged the fastest lap. So right now in the charts, Verstappen is ahead of him with 1 point. The fastest lap point, because I remember in Bahrain they were 1-2. Right now they were still 1-2, but in the opposite form. You get? So right now what's separating them is the fastest lap. So when he was asked about that, he was like, I was told to go slower. Then it means Max was told something very, very different. You get? And as a team, you shouldn't be that way. Just tell the people, just go. If you're telling
Hizi ni
Perez-
uchungu za Mercedes unaongea.
Anyway, yeah, by the way, Mercedes. Okay, let me tell you something. Ini uchungu ya kupoteza podium because we were
Exactly.
given a podium alafu kidogo tunanyang'anywa podium.
Nah. You guys, it's like mmeendelea from where you left last season in terms of
Developing the car.
Yeah, bana. Because why is Lewis still saying the same things again and
Doesn't
again?
feel
you know?
comfortable,
Yeah,
doesn't bro-
and
yeah,
then George
exactly.
Gariaki for some weird days when he doesn't have any problems.
It
there's
depends.
that
It
thing
depends
now.
with the setups that the garages have made, and also after the yellow flag, both drivers were on very very different tires. You get, because I remember Lewis Hamilton in the first stint, like for the first 5 laps or 10 laps, he was more faster than Russell because he was on mediums, and mediums they are
They
more quicker.
swish out,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then when the hards become more optimum, the mediums are fading off. You get? And that's why Russell picked up pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the cars are the same because they were just the same. But I don't know. We want a Red Bull as a Mercedes. Sisi mwache kiburi by the way, Mercedes. Copy Red Bull. Copy, yes.
No. You know there are fines when you copy each other's strategies and stuff. But before we talk about football, guys, let me just brief you guys on the news
Yes,
and
sir.
what has just happened across football.
Yeah.
So we start na local. So Gor Mahia 5 points ahead with 14 games to go. And I don't know why FKF aren't marketing these events, because it was on a Friday. Gor versus KCB, which was a big derby.
It
That's
is a
like
big game.
Arsenal and Man City or Man United and Newcastle.
How dare you, bro? Like, there's levels to this. If it's in the 90s, yes. Now
Sawa,
there's
sawa,
levels.
sawa,
Yeah.
sawa. So it was a big game,
Yes.
but guys weren't even aware of it. Na ilikuwa tu hapa Nyayo. So I think FK they should do something about marketing the
Marketing the
events,
game, yeah?
because easy study they can be full. Like there's no insecurities nowadays whenever you go watch a game. Like you can go watch a game and just go back home and it's all good, you know.
Okay.
So there's that part. Roy is back to Crystal Palace.
Hodgson.
Yes,
Stupid
oldest
move.
Premier League manager, I think, ever at 75.
Yes.
And also another manager who has a new team is Roberto Martinez with Portugal.
Portugal.
And once again, Cristiano Ronaldo is there.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Capitan.
It's like we're experiencing an era where now people are defying their old age and still playing.
yeah.
Because Ibrahimovic is still being
playing,
called to
yes,
play at
for
41.
Sweden. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like Giroud. I like that, you know. El Clasico on Sunday. I don't know.
Gavi should have been red carded.
Really?
That's all I'll say.
Okay.
But we didn't play well, though.
Yeah, by the
As Real Madrid, we didn't play well. Straight up.
One of the best derbies I've seen recently. And basically, what's happening here, Barcelona, it's like they've secured this title post Messi.
Bro, I don't understand what's going on in football. Okay, Arsenal are 8. How many points clear?
9.
Like, in all honesty.
No, technically
How
8
many?
points.
8 points, yeah.
No, Achana games in hand, whatnot. Saini,
Yeah,
8 points.
8 points.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Then Barcelona, 11 or
12,
something.
12
points clear.
Yeah.
Only
Then there's
losing 2
Napoli.
games.
15
then there's
points.
Napoli who are like 15 or 18 points.
Yeah.
So the only competition is in Bundesliga. Me, I'm watching Bundesliga right now. But because most of these leagues are
Done and
you could say
dusted.
done and dusted. Yeah. Apparently, Premier League kuna competition.
No, okay. You know what? You know what? As you've said, we shouldn't count the games in hand in the Premier League, yeah?
Yeah,
Because technically, Man City's game in hand is against Liverpool, yeah? Liverpool.
Man City's game, there's West Ham and Leicester City. They have 2 games in hand. Man
Okay,
City.
but
Yeah.
next they're playing Liverpool,
That is
Next
after
it's
the international
Liverpool.
break.
Yeah,
Next
it's
is
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
which will be tough. The best thing they can get there is a draw.
Not really.
Not really, bro.
Before Venant finishes the news, I want to tell you guys something. Liverpool in their absolute prime in 2019 and 2020 couldn't even win at the Etihad. What makes you think this year they'll win at the Etihad?
With a poor form and a list of injured players.
You know,
Anyway, let's move on. Adebayo, 39 years
Retires.
old. I'm a retire. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to see him while he was at Arsenal or at Man City or at these other several clubs that he played. You know, at one point alikuwa Real Madrid pia.
Yeah, I think his best years were at Man City and Real Madrid. You know, count out Arsenal. Agenda master gen.
Anyway, today I'm not going to talk about to not 3D.
Yeah. More news?
So that's pretty much
Apart
it.
from
Major.
Messi, Kylian Mbappe is our captain, bana.
Okay, he's holding that armband for man like Saliba.
Bro, Saliba couldn't even bench Konate in the World Cup. What makes you think he's gonna
No. That was.
You see,
let me tell you something.
Saliba was only called up because Varane retired, and then he pulled up a weak ass move and decided to go out on injury. By the way, I have a report on these players who have pulled out of international duty because of injuries.
Haaland.
Saliba did that. Haaland has done that.
Rashford
has done that. This reminds me of a certain movie I've watched before called the Sir Alex Ferguson movie. Where your star players apparently are injured and can't play for their countries. Kwanza Haaland and Rashford. I'm sure Pep and Ten Hag have had words to say.
What's Rashford's injury?
Apparently, he got a knock. He got a knock in our last game. Yeah, so he couldn't move too well in training.
but during World Cup,
But let me tell you,
Calvin Phillips can be called from an injury. Reece James can be called from a long-term injury. But now, for some weird reason, a knock.
Yes, apparently Haaland has back pains.
What about Saliba? You know what happened to Saliba? It's Ten Hag's juju.
What do you mean, Ten Hag?
Because Ten Hag has been all over the media saying Arsenal have the players available each and every game week. Yeah, I'm like, Jesus, where have you been when Zinchenko was injured? Where have you been when Jesus was injured? You get? So immediately spoke about that. Saliba got injured. So fam.
Mzoe yo sauti.
By the way, guys, we have to start with the main news now.
Okay.
Conte, Spurs. Is this rant he went about during the weekend, and he mentioned the owner. He mentioned the players generally,
mentality, selfishness.
He mentioned the disappointment in fans. He's like, basically, what's happening right now is we're experiencing scenarios where managers are completely honest, and it's coming at the expense of the club.
Now that's where I have a huge problem with it. I think as bad as your players can be on the pitch, you don't call them out like that. Call them out on Monday morning in training, in front of the players themselves, not to the media. That is what Mourinho did to Pogba and to Martial, and it left a bad taste in Man United. With Conte, I'd say I'm not surprised Italian managers always complain. I think the only manager who I'm seeing complain of late that has never complained as much is Ancelotti. Because this season he's having it rough in La Liga. Hey, even he's coming out to complain that he doesn't have signings. But Ancelotti rarely complains. Other Italian managers always complain. So this one with Conte saying 20 years, Spurs have won nothing. That's not a surprise. Spurs have always been Spursy.
Yeah.
Conte as an Italian manager has always complained whenever he's not backed.
Yeah.
The only surprise to me is that it's taken this long for that rant to happen.
You're
the only
expecting it to
surprise.
be so...
I had expected it to be like in January or something.
No, listen.
It's taken too long.
I remember when this guy was appointed, after about 2-3 months, he started saying, man, managing this thing is hard, man.
Yeah, I remember. Kwa grao vitu ni different. I
Said, man,
experience.
after the first 3 months. But then I was like, this guy, he already knew that. He already knew that Spurs is very, very hard. That's why he was given the shortest contract ever. 18 months. Have you ever had somebody being given an 18 months contract? No.
true.
So this guy already knew that it's going to be hard, but I think he thought he'll ship out very early. Or he thought that probably his tactics will get into the team and they will work hard, or probably not. Or probably he'll get backed in January or during the summer. But Daniel Levy is Daniel Levy. He didn't back him up. You get? As long as you have Kane, I'm not backing you up. So I'm like, right now he's tired. He said enough is enough. Now I'm just... But this is not the first time Spurs managers are doing that. I remember Harry Redknapp between 2008 and 2012. He also called out the Spurs owners. Also Pochettino, when they were opening up the stadium, the new stadium, he said, yes, we have a beautiful stadium, but what's it for if we can't turn crystals? By crystals, he means...
It can't attract big players.
Exactly. So I'm like, Spurs should just, and right now, if Spurs decide to fire, okay, Spurs are Spurs, they can't fire.
That's what we are waiting to hear. Him being fired.
Spurs are Spurs.
You don't mention the owner, man.
It'll be too early
Don't
if he's
mention
fired,
the
man.
owner,
It'll be
man.
too
Let me tell
early.
you something,
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If it has gotten to now, Wednesday, and this guy hasn't been fired, fam, I don't know what the Spurs owners are doing, man. Because
They're being smart.
They're being smart. How?
about it. There's only 10 games left and Conte's contract is done.
Mm-hmm.
So I sack him now and pay him off a lot of millions when you can just ride out the season with 10 games to go and pay him nothing because the contract will be up.
But fam, let me tell you something,
Mm.
I come before the money. The owners come before the money. You can't just go out and speak out like that. Come tell us that behind closed doors. You get? But don't go
Don't
ranting
air
in
out
public.
your dirty laundry.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You see, so Spurs are just being Spurs, and they're not gonna fire him because, let's be honest, you have Conte, a serial winner. Yeah, if you fire him, who are you going for? Are you going for Patrick Vieira?
Maybe they could go back to their ex Pochettino. Oh, no.
Who's been rumored several times across this season to go back.
to Spurs.
Yeah, but with me personally, this is what I think. I totally agree with everything that he said. I agree with the fact that it's been 20 years since we last experienced something called a win for them in terms
Yes.
of a trophy or
trophy,
anything. And
Hey.
when you look at Conte's brief history, just recent, don't even look at time yake na Italy, just look at this brief one. Season ya kwanza with Chelsea, Premier League.
Yeah.
Season yake ya kwanza in Inter Milan,
League.
you know.
Yeah.
And now with Spurs, this is what, second season?
Yeah.
Number 2. Now, where Kidogo, I'm like, he needs to be responsible is, you remember at the beginning of the season, 2 clubs were rumored to, not rumored, but they were arguably, they had the best transfer window. One was Arsenal, based on the quality of the signing, and 2 was Spurs too, based on the numbers of signings they made.
Quantity.
So Conte was backed.
Yeah.
True.
Were those his players? Yeah, when you get the likes of Kulusevski and Perisic
A
and
Richarlison,
Nanin
who's a
and,
fighter, you expect
and
him to be a Conte type of
for me,
signing.
for me, I say he's backed. He's backed. But now, when it comes to the mentality, because he talked about the mentality of the players.
Yes.
You look at that Southampton game. As soon as Theo scored that goal, where we were, we knew this game is ending a draw. And that's because it's like Spurs are comfortable. It's like, okay, sir, we'll go. Okay, it's a draw. It's better than not losing.
Yeah.
But you cannot think like that in a moment where there's less than 10 games to go.
That's
and
true.
Manchester United is here winning each and every game, and they already secured a cup. And you guys,
Newcastle is on your heels.
Arsenal is back to the top, which means somebody has to make space for that Champions League spot. So there's no room for losing, you know. And with their terrible form, honestly, you can't even bet on Spurs because you don't know even how the games will end, you know. Granted, we're seeing the best of Kane, and also there's that issue of in the event Kane, Spurs don't qualify for UCL.
Can we leave?
Can go
He
to
will
Manchester
leave.
United.
Yeah.
There's that.
Bring him to the theater.
Let me tell you.
But let me ask
Let me
you.
tell
Yeah.
you.
Would you rather Kane or Osimhen?
Mi nayo si wafichi. It is my opinion and I'm very proud of it. Bring Hurricane into that team now. Reason being, Ken can create his own goals. Ken can also assist in goals. When it comes to Osimhen, I'm not too sure if he could come into a Man United without someone like Kvaratskhelia. You know, Kvaratskhelia has been giving him assist after assist after assist. Rashford doesn't have time to pass that ball. Rashford will be trying to score his own goals and Osimhen might go on a drought. Ken doesn't need someone to pass. Ken has worked with Son for how many long and he still creates his own goals, then creates goals for Son. So I think
Also-
Ken-Rashford partnership would work easier than Osimhen-Rashford partnership.
And also Kane under Mourinho, he benefited from playing the false 9 role.
Yes, can come
where-
deep. Yeah.
So ilikuwa
But-
Pause.
But I think in Conte's rant,
Yeah.
I think in Conte's rant, when he said some players are selfish, he was meaning Kane. So I'm like,
Yeah, there are certain chances I saw versus Southampton where Kane could have scored. I
Exactly.
mean, Kane could have assisted Heung-min Son or Kulusevski or whoever it is to score. But he went to the shot on target or something like that.
Yeah, so I think he also isn't happy with Kane. And if you're a leader, you shouldn't be that selfish. You get? You should put the team, the badge, play for the badge, and people will remember the name at the back. You get? So if Kane isn't playing for the badge, I don't think he'll play for the badge at United. I don't think Kane is a good fit for United because as at now, let me tell you something. As at now, Tottenham should have let Kane go. You remember when Kane wanted to go to Man City? Let him go to Man City. You get? That's how real clubs are managed. You are not bigger than the club. You get? I remember when Aubameyang was bringing some bullcrap to Arsenal, he was told,
He was benched.
just go, man.
Yeah,
You
just
get?
leave, yeah.
Yeah. So if Kane is toxic at Tottenham, or if he's bringing that bad vibe, fam, I think it's time for Spurs to tell him, okay, thanks. Now you can go. Even if he'll go to a rival, because I don't think we let Van Persie go to a rival, right? Did he stay there forever? No.
Van Persie wasn't toxic at Arsenal.
But
Yeah, he wasn't toxic, but I remember we let him go.
Yeah. I just have a question for you guys before we move on
To the UEFA draws. Yeah, by the way. Yeah.
Because one question that I have is
Yes.
at what point should managers be honest? Because we are having a scenario where if Conte is honest or if whoever it
loses
is
his job.
honest, he either loses his job, is fined, then what's the purpose of speaking to the media if you can't speak the truth? Because Conte genuinely said, hey, I tried to hide this for a while, but it's reached a point where now I can't take it anymore.
With that, it's all about human nature. Because I'm of the opinion that as a manager, you protect your players. You protect your players.
Yeah.
If I'm coaching Rashford and Malacia, and I'm like, Malacia is not doing with Rashford what Shaw does with Rashford, I'm not coming out and saying it after the game. I'm telling Malacia that on Monday morning in training or immediately after the game in the dressing room. But then I understand, that is why I've said human nature. It gets to a point where, Malacia, I told you this after game 1, after game 2, after game 3, after game 4. And I'm only using this as an example. As a game 5, game 6. Literally 3/4 of the season, I've told you this. And nothing's changed. So you know what? Dig him out. Dig him out. Dig him out in the media. That's what I've said. Protect your players. Dig them out when behind closed doors. But I would understand a manager coming out and calling them out because pia kama binadamu, you're bound to get tired of some things. You're bound to get tired of being repetitive. So I would understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Now, let's talk about the draws. There are several draws that are happening.
UEFA, Champions League,
Champions
UEFA
League,
Europa
and there's-
League, the FA Cup as
Yeah.
well.
So let's start with
Champs League.
yeah. Do you still maintain that Bayern are gonna win?
Well, my issue was my final was supposed to be Real Madrid versus Bayern, but now I can only get that in the semis. According to how the draw was done, that can only happen in the semis, not in the final. So, me hata nitakuwa very quick with this. Real Madrid versus Chelsea, hiyo ni Real. Hata Real Madrid tukikosa Benzema na Vinicius, bado ni Real. Graham Potter does not have pedigree. He cannot manage at the big stage. The fact that he beat Dortmund does not mean he can come to the Bernabeu and have a game of his life. No way. No way.
What about Man City and Bayern?
Man City versus Bayern. Now you can bet on you can bet on me, you can bet on everything you own, on all your assets, that Bayern Munich will be playing in the semi-finals. Pep Guardiola will bottle yet another Champions League season. Yes.
What about was it AC Milan?
AC Milan versus Napoli.
Yeah.
Now this is where the big issue comes in, where AC Milan have that European pedigree but have not been good this season. Napoli are the team to beat, are the team to watch out for in the Serie A. And they could have that Ajax season where 2019 Ajax made the semis. So you never know. At the end of the day, I don't know. I'm leaning on pedigree. You know, when it comes to the Champions League, that big stage, that San Siro Stadium.
Hey, buddy.
As much as it would be good to have, of course, the other draw is Benfica Inter Milan. As much as it would be a good game to have Napoli versus Benfica in the semis, I think that's where there'll be a big surprise. I think Napoli Benfica won't be the semis. I think one Milan side will make the semis, but I just don't know. I'm so undecided. One Milan side will make the semis, and I'm not sure which one.
What about you? Do you have a favorite of? I know you are a Real Madrid fan, and Real Madrid, of course, will beat Chelsea.
Of
Everybody
course, man.
agrees. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a debate. But other than Real Madrid, do you have a favorite? Do you see which other team do you see going ahead that probably people aren't so sure of?
Okay, for the first two draws, Real and Bayern, those guys, they are meeting themselves in the semi-finals. Okay, that's so sure. Man City, no.
Bottlers.
Those bottlers, yeah, we can just call them Man City Bottling Company. So,
Sensation.
so what's up? AC Milan and Napoli. I fancy AC Milan. Like I just want AC Milan and Benfica to be in the semi-final.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sasa basi. FA Cup.
FA Cup. Farm. Brighton, do the thing.
Yes.
When did
Brighton
Arsenal supporters suddenly start
Brighton
supporting
versus
Brighton?
Man United Palace semis, and then this Man City,
versus Sheffield United.
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So this is it. You know, Arsenal and Brighton this season, or for the past 3 seasons, we've been so close, man. Because they gave us.
We've made good business
Yeah,
here. We
they
bought
gave us Ben
White,
White.
Trossard.
They gave us Trossard, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we gave them who? We gave them Welbeck.
Yes.
up.
And Welbeck also scored versus United. So
So
Keep talking.
let me
keep
tell you.
talking.
Let me tell you. Let me use Brio's word there. It's gonna be sensational.
But guys, I'll be very honest. Man United versus Brighton, we've already been at Wembley. Like this team has not won a trophy in 6 years, and then we went to Wembley, won the Carabao Cup. Hii stadium mshaizoea, mlicheza hii stadium 90 minutes. Msiache Brighton iwatishie vitu kidogo. If it is Mitoma, sisi tuko na man like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, the Spider. Hiyo day hata sitaki kuona Dalo akianza hiyo game. Nataka kuona Spider-Man. Aaron Wan-Bissaka has one job: break Mitoma's leg. Nothing else. Other than that, I really think, listen, I'm going to be objective.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Manchester Derby final in the FA Cup.
okay.
Yeah.
Europa.
We have Sevilla, another Spanish team we will conquer. This season, bro, miss you Afichi. If we beat Sevilla after conquering Sociedad in the group stage, Barcelona in the 32 round, and Betis in the round of 16. If we beat Sevilla to make the semis, you might as well just give us the La Liga title. Tunapiga tu teams are Spain, bana. Because
Let me tell you.
I had said Man United, Arsenal in the final, but you know Arsenal have no European pedigree, so I expect to meet Roma in the final. Man United versus Roma.
You know, Sevilla has European pedigree, and they also have a new coach right now.
Yeah.
They have a new coach.
Paulo
So
was sacked.
let me tell you, the pedigree that Sevilla have and the pedigree United have is this way, this gap, yeah. So Sevilla will trash Man United like big time. Yeah? So it might be Sevilla, Roma. I don't know. Me, I just want Man United to, yes, watolewe.
This is what I think. If you are a Spurs fan, or if you are a team that's struggling to get the top 4 and United is on your way, you'd want United to play all of these games so that fatigue kicks in and now injuries and stuff, so that it becomes easier for you, assuming you're going to win all these games. So that's how I look at it. But now, personally, like I said, I want you guys to win Europa. I want you guys to win the FA Cup.
Keep talking, bro. I'm loving, I'm loving what's going on today.
I've said that before.
Yes,
I've
sir.
said that before. But with Brighton now on the still on the FA, I have them as my favorites. Granted, if you beat them, I'm not losing on anything. I won't feel anything bad. It's cool. But now we have to talk about questions, because there are 2 questions that guys asked that you guys, I feel you could answer. So the number 1 is relegation battle.
Oh, yes.
So some 2 fans asked about who do you think will be relegated?
Oh, that's easy. 3 teams.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go 3 teams. I'll go Bournemouth. Bournemouth don't have the mentality to do that. I think West Ham as well. David Moyes is, just trying to run back the days, manze, time yake ilishaisha. Like, these are bold predictions, because I'm looking at Southampton, and I think Southampton can pull an escape. Everton with Sean Dyche, you never know. Leeds as well, the way they play, you never know. So I'm going to go Bournemouth, West Ham, and I'm leaning on Leicester just because of their defensive issues. Leicester have so many defensive errors. Like, seeing them win, I can see them 10 games, 11 games left. I can see them like getting only 3 wins out of them. Like, it's that serious. Their defensive issues are that serious. So, Bournemouth, West Ham, Leicester.
Before you answer, just know Crystal Palace are at number 12 with 27.
Exactly.
Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Leicester, West Ham, Bournemouth, and Southampton.
That relegation battle starts from number 12.
Starts from number 12. And I think West Ham will not be relegated. Leicester City will not be relegated. But a team like Wolves, because their form hasn't been that
By the
good.
way, the attacking talent they have,
They only have
scoring
Jimenez
goals for them
alone.
is so difficult.
Diego Costa is injured.
Yeah?
Diego Costa, is he injured?
They have Matias Cunha from Atletico. Why can't they use him then?
I don't know what's up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Who do you think you're gonna be
For me,
relegated?
First of all, Bournemouth. We were outside there with Braille. We saw their fixtures form. That's crazy. Their fixtures are crazy, man.
Okay.
Crystal Palace,
God damn.
on the basic fact that they've
Dagger.
sacked Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira, who could have scraped them through. You get? Like, Patrick Vieira was there last season, and he put them in a very, very nice position. And I'm going to blame the Crystal Palace board, because if a manager is in the mud, then you come up with him, like Arsenal. You get? We are a very good example of that. I think, I don't know. So, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and I'm not going to say Southampton, because Southampton have that fight in them. If they continue scraping these draws or some wins from big teams like us, then I think they're going to be there, 26, 25. You get? So, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and Wolves. Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Martinelli versus Rashford.
There's no debate over the, like, let's be serious.
The difference is only one
You
goal.
must be mad. No.
The difference is only one goal.
No. That is madness. Sasa next tutasema nini? If
No,
France
who's
won-
gonna
if-
score more goals?
If France won the World Cup, tungeanza
The difference-
kusema Pele or Mbappe, because Pele has just one more World Cup.
No. Wait. Martinelli is 6 on 6 right now. He's been picking up form. Rashford is Rashford, player of the month, and United, and all that. But now the guys who are just asking who's gonna score.
Who's gonna score more?
Yeah.
Or that's easy Rashford. Who would you rather have in your team? That's easy Rashford. And the two of you know it. If Rashford was in this Arsenal side, you'd be even levels ahead. Straight up. The two of you know it.
That's a lie.
So it's easy. Who's gonna score more goals? Rashford. Who's better in a team? Rashford. Say that.
Yeah. I'm also going to agree with Brian on one point. Who's going to score more goals? Rashford. This is because Rashford has that maturity in him. Like, he's been there. Right now, the games that Arsenal are going into, I don't know. And also, you know what? Rashford is going to score more goals because at United is the only goal scorer. At Arsenal, we have Odegaard who can score anytime he wants. Who else? Saka. Saka has 13 goals or 12. Yeah, so I think Rashford, he'll score more goals than Martinelli. But next season, we'll be back.
Based on form and based on fixtures and based on the number of games remaining, I'm going with Martinelli. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, any other thing you guys need to share before
Man,
we
I'm
close?
just lying to people out here.
Ah, wait,
man.
because
I'm
you-
just lying to people.
I do query.
Anyway, it's all right. No. No worries. Man United will finish the season with more trophies than Arsenal. Said
Okay.
it once, I'll keep on repeating it.
And listen, my Arsenal fans, yeah? Go there, Moy Avenue, buy yourself a kit, write 23 champions, okay? Yeah.
And with me, I'll just say this. Best time. This is the best time to use your wildcard right now. You have 2 weeks to kupanga team yako. And also number 2, this is also the best time to use your bench boost cheap. I'm talking to FPL managers. This is also the best time to use your bench boost cheap because a lot of players are having double game weeks.
Yeah.
So up until next time, Venant here.
Brayo.
Black Mamba.